everyone, welcome to Stage of Listening channel. I have been away because I've been super duper busy. I thought I would start off our conversation with a bit of a read with the oracle cards. I do spiritual readings. I don't do, you know, when am I going to move house, when am I going to get a new job, you know, a new partner and all that. I don't. I do spiritual ones. But I've been doing 2 readings today and they've all been about staying balanced, which is amazing in themselves, that it's been about not having a closed mind, not being in fear, letting go of control. I mean, it really has been amazing. So I got all that glitters, and the angel is looking down at what's going on here and saying all that glitters isn't gold. Don't be fooled. Don't think that what you're investing in is going to help you in the long run, in the end. I can feel that really strongly. You've got a beautiful angel, beautiful yellow, gold light, but the warning is all that glitters is not gold. Do not believe everything is as it pretends to be. Wow. Let's go the next one. And then, oh, just one, please. One more. So I've really been wanting to do this, but I've just not had the opportunity. But I desperately want to start today and tomorrow, do as many videos as I possibly can in order to kind of get this series finished and over with, because it's really important. One more, please. So hopefully you have looked at mine in order. It's really important. Otherwise, you know, I've got shapes here and things like that, and you're going to go, well, what's that shape represent? That doesn't make sense. So you kind of have to look at it in order. If you can do that, please. Anyway, we looked before at looking at the difference between Christ consciousness and between other deities, lesser gods, going into fundamentalism, going into extremes and listening to those and finding that they're not as nourishing as they need to be. You need to go down that middle path. You need to really transcend by listening to a spirit that is from essence purest love and light. I spoke about, you know, if it asks something of you, then it's probably not what you should be listening to, because God's love is unconditional, always unconditional, comes to you and loves you no matter what state you're in. If it turns around and says, yeah, but now you've got to do something for me, then I've got a problem. All it wants you to do is this beautiful spirit has your best interests at heart every single time. Will it tell you off? Will it tell you to do something so that you don't, you know, screw up your life? Then yes, it will. But not do this and prove yourself to me. I've never found that. It's always been very loving, very caring, compassionate, and just lifts me up and has taught me so much about the spiritual world and how it works. And it works in frequency and energies. If you align yourself to that middle, the middle path of spirituality, without going to these lesser frequencies, then you're not going to go too far wrong. Just want one card and I can get going. Please. It might just be that it wanted that one card to come out. Okay, if I don't get one now, then I'm going to give up. Okay, that card. Buy the book. And trust me to know what that one doesn't mean. Okay, 11. So, we've got the elephants in a row here. Oh, heaven above. Slap my thigh and call me Jack Sparrow. You're not gonna... I didn't plan this. You saw me, I didn't plan this. Oh, holy moly. Okay. Abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting culture or family customs or universal laws. The universe works within a structure of divine laws and principle that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The law of abundance, the law of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in universal law. Human beings in turn have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behaviour, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform to them rather than being the rebel and flaunting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules, even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to these universal laws and it'll be easier to go by the book at this time. Abso-piggin-lutely. What stuck out to me there was, where is it? Where on earth, right, laws are put in place in order to kind of, you know, social structure and social order. The laws of karma, the laws of attraction, they don't follow the same rules. They're totally different. And there's a bit here, even revolution has its place in universal law. Yes. The whole of this new age, this Aquarius age, is all about bringing in revolution. It's all about bringing in change. And that change can be painful. All that glitters is not gold. What you think is wonderful isn't. But you can be encouraged to know that what is destined to be is going to be, because it's law. And be reassured that when everything looks really dire out there, when everything looks really difficult, you've got to understand and be reassured that it's all in the plan. This all was meant to happen. All of this was meant to happen that you're seeing out in the world. It's playing by the playbook. It is a universal law. It will be all right. But we have to go through this in order to get to what is glittery, what is wonderful, and it ain't this. So whatever your eyes are looking at, you got to be careful of stuff that appears to be nice when it isn't. Ooh, okay. So let's go straight on then. So I did a brief synopsis, and now we'll go straight on to this. Okay, so I've put a few things out. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, so I was, we moved from looking at the balance between earthly matters and material matters, and looking at the path in the middle. Christ doesn't mean Jesus is surname, it's a mantle of a holy person. The anointing of the Creator God is on them. That's what that means. So then I was given this one, and this is looking at staying balanced. So I should have put that up here. So staying balanced. And the two, as I was told to do this up again, and I said, okay, what's on these other ends? And I was told ego is at both ends. One, though, is fear, and the other is a closed mind or arrogance. And I thought, well, arrogance and fear, is that it? Are only those two? And I was told that like with the Four of Cups, you have a situation where a closed mind, where you only see you, you feel and see yourself. So there's a real illusionary state, a refusal to see other points of view. And I was told a long time ago about people in balls. Don't ask me why, but God always keeps kind of showing me people in balls, and then explains it. So I'll give you, for instance, then. Here is a person in a ball. When they are in that ball, and it's made of glass, right? They can see outside of themselves. They can see what's going on. They see reality. Yay! But when you have somebody who is not in glass, but in a mirrored sphere, then they don't see other people. They don't see what's going on outside. They're restricted. All they see is themselves looking back, which is why they, see other people. They project, they project their own feelings onto other people, or they project others' actions, their actions onto other people, because they are literally in a glass, mirrored rather, ball, where here everyone can see outside of themselves. Right, so going back to here then, you've got the arrogance that is a real ego state and gives them that real closed mind. On the other side we have fear, and fear again is an ego state, again in a mirrored ball, and gives you that closed mind. So we have the Two of Swords here. She's not seeing anything, she's not listening to anybody, she's just completely shut off. She's not helping herself. He's being offered something, a different way to feel and think. He's not interested. And these two states will stop you from being balanced. So when you're in the glass ball sphere, you're letting go of control. You're seeing the bigger picture. You're seeing the bigger picture, and you're able to embrace everything. You're able to kind of have that renewed mind. You have that miracle working power within you, because that super consciousness, that transcending Christ consciousness power is able to work in you, because you're not fear driven, and you're not sort of looking at earthly things and being very arrogant and I know everything, and probably a little bit left brain, possibly. That's not to have a go at left brain people, but I'm just saying. So when we're in this age of Aquarius, you are emotionally now more balanced. And I got this: anointed ones come before. That's talking about the Christ. Anointed ones come before, so that in this age we could be it. So we've had, you know, we have sort of different Christs that have come over the centuries, and they've been set as an example. They've been given to us as an example, so that we can have Christ in us, so that we can have that anointing, that spirit within us, and demonstrate that love and that way to be. I've got a little story for you, because I always give you little stories. They're like little parables, just so that kind of the story kind of clicks into place a little bit more. So my initial experience when I was 10 or 11 years old, I was watching The Life of Brian, and the love that I experienced at that time of that particular experience was so pure and so beautiful that it has stayed with me to this very day, and it has kept me in a glass sphere. Because how can you be fearful when you've felt the presence of Christ? How can you be arrogant when you've felt that amazing presence of that super love, something much higher than yourself? It's very hard to not be humble in that situation. So basically I was sat at home. I hope I've not told you this before, but I was sat at home and I was on my own. My parents had gone out, and I'd already said to them, oh, can I watch this film, Jesus Christ Superstar? And they said, no, don't watch that, because it's full of, you know, it's very blasphemous, don't watch it. So of course they left, and me as an inquisitive person, I watched it. Didn't think much of it. I loved church, even from that age. I always loved everything to do with God, the church God. And but I was watching, I didn't feel anything. I thought it was like a fun film, lots of singing and music in it. And then we got to the crucifixion scene, and the actor's body disappeared. The actor's face metamorphosized, is that correct word, into a completely different face. And I was kind of sucked into this vortex, and I was told kind of, you know, I died for you, basically. I'm sure I've already told you this story, so I won't go deep into it. And I just sort of went on my knees. I went on my, or lay prostrate, not because I am not worthy, although there was a certain degree of my ego saying that, doing that, but I realised I had no other option as a 10-year-old, 9 or 10-year-old child. What do you do when you're faced with this love that just rocks your world? You go flat on your back, you can't help it. And anyway, so the power of that love was so strong, I felt immediately that I was a child of God. I was part of something so powerful, and I would never be the same again. And at that moment, I was immersed in the Spirit of God. I've spent since then a further, 41 years now, doing everything I can to kind of stay in that Christ consciousness place. And my job is to help to teach people how to dwell in that space, how to stay in that space, and just let them know it's possible. It completely is. But when I talk about Christ, when I talk about God, I know it triggers people. I'm not talking about, I swear that there are people in church who are worshipping a different God, and it ain't God. It's not the God I'm talking about, because I don't see their characters changed and transformed. I don't see their personalities. I'm not to say that I'm not judging them. What I'm saying is that there has to be evidence of what is outside of you, well, what is inside of you on the outside. And if you see people and they're just judgy, and they are vindictive and nasty and just competitive, and oh my, ugh. And that's why I had to leave, because I wasn't seeing a manifestation of anything other than one-upmanship. I mean, just toxic. It was like toxic, cliquey kind of church. It was just, and I've had this for years. I must have gone to about, because I've travelled. I was a bit of a traveller, and I saw this in every church I went to. Disgraceful behaviour, and I put up with it for a long, long time. And I gave an awful lot of excuses to their bad behaviour. But I realised that God had said to me, he showed me this picture. I don't know if you can see that. It's a really awful picture. But it's of, is this pen okay? Let's see if I do. I don't want to, this ink goes right through, so I've got to be really careful. But God showed me when I was in a church a picture of a sheep's pen, and I remember there being about four sheep inside. And then dotted on the outside of the sheep's pen were about 3 sheep on their own. Now, I've put them in a group of 3. They weren't like that. They were literally on their own. And God said to me, these people in this church want to be here. They want to be inside here. And he showed me the gate was open. They could leave any time, but they wouldn't. They wanted to stay in. And he said to me, you're meant to be out here. The more you try to be in here, the more you'll be kicked out, because they don't like people that like to be outside. They only want people inside who are like them, who want to be inside. And you have to be outside. You're never going to forget. You're never going to fit in with these people. Quit fighting it and get out. So, anyway, so what else have I got to say here? Because it's not going to be a long one today. So we've got extremes here of being in fear and being arrogant. I don't need to learn anything. I know everything. I'm not listening to anybody. I know what's good for me. Both of these people have their fingers in their ears. So I've written down, let's see if there's anything else. So in both of these people, you see you feel you, illusions of control, need to control, have behaviors and habits to keep that control, and they are full of judgment. I asked why I got this, and I was told self-mastery is what everyone needs to learn first. If you yearn for intuition and higher ascension, and do not do this, you may be tapping into lower frequencies, but you won't have the evolved, you won't have the capabilities of maintaining it. So I'll read that again because it's the first time I've read it in a while. Self-mastery is what you have to learn first. If you yearn, for intuition and higher ascension, you cannot do this. You may be able to tap into lower frequencies, but you won't be evolved as much as you want to be. So while this is boring and saying to yourself, well, what do I need to do then? What's all this telling me? It's saying when you're in fear, realizing you're in an ego state, all you're thinking about is you. I know that sounds crazy and it sounds harsh, but when you're in fear, all you're thinking about is you. You're turning inwards. Yeah, you're turning like the mirrored spheres, you're turning inwards. When you're in arrogance, oh, well, I know everything and I do this and I do that, and because I know everything and I don't need to learn anymore because I know exactly, and I'm not going to listen to this person, and I'm not going to listen to that person because I already know everything. Again, you're looking inwards into yourself. You're in that mirrored sphere and you're not looking at the bigger picture. And here, if you are in this Christ conscious state where you're letting go of control, where you see all, you feel all, it may be scary to do that, but you're seeing the bigger picture and you're embracing everything that you're experiencing with your God, with your spirit, and through that you will be renewed. You will have that renewed mind. You'll be able to have that wonderful state of being where you are an altered awareness, and you're able to tap into that super consciousness, being able to transcend because you've let go of the ego states. And whenever I see, if I meet somebody, for instance, if I'm with somebody who has got let's say an addiction, sort of a, let's not say something like a medical addiction for now, but let's just say something very obvious, so an eating addiction, and they're very overweight, dangerously overweight. I often find that they are in an ego state where they are looking at life, they are in a state of being in a mirrored ball. And it's only by smashing that mirrored ball and releasing what you think you know, and empowering yourself by letting go of all those fears, seeing yourself as you really are, making yourself vulnerable and doing shadow work to really see the truth of everything, then you're able to ascend. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to say any more. I've already been on for ages, but I hope that this gets us back into the groove, really, of how to ascend. Oh, bless you guys. We're in a mad world, but I've got some amazing things to share, and just wish me luck as I kind of go through all of these and get them done, because it's going to be 2 weeks before I can do them again. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.